Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of Being ACCA. This is expert session number 6 and I am Tushita, she is Punya, and today we have with us Sir Rizwan Maniya. He really needs no introduction, but he's an expert tutor for PM, FM and APM. He has a huge role in our ACCA journey also. So we are privileged to have you here, sir. Welcome to the session. So now Punya will start with the first segment of our session.
Okay, so first is the segment in which we have certain questions from our audience. And the first question is like many students are scared of the pass rates of PM and APM, and they're just like, it is one of the most difficult papers in their ACCA journey. So, what is your take on it, and how can you motivate them to do this paper well?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello to the audience. Thank you very much for inviting me for this session. I'm Rizwan Maniya, and I'm teaching ACCA since last 16 years, more than 16 years now. I teach PM, FM, and APM, and it's an online institute, Wi-Fi, where we work. So I'm the CEO there, and we are providing online education. So coming to the first question, as you just said, yeah, it's very true. Performance management and advanced performance management. If you look at the passing ratio of these two papers, so it's very clear. If you look at the trend, that it's something starting when I say about PM, so starting from 35 going towards 40. APM again remains below 35. So, but having said that, what I personally believe is don't look at passing ratios. Now, what I always tell student is if you think the passing ratio is 35%, right? So just make a target for yourself that you have to be in that 35%. If it is 33%, you have to be in that 33%. So yeah, passing ratios do play a very important role when you're selecting the paper, especially for the optional side. But again, don't consider passing ratio very seriously. You just put in your effort. If the direction is correct, if you are putting effort in the right way, I'm sure you will be in that 33%, or I can say even in that 15% passing ratio.
Very true. So, next is like, what are some of the commonly tested topics which are there in PM as well as in APM?
Okay, let me start first with performance management. One of the most important section that is always tested is performance measurement section, which includes financial and non-financial performance. It includes divisional performance. It includes transfer pricing, right? So this section, I think, is the most important one for CRQs, starting from 2007 till 2023. Hardly just one or two attempt where you will see that this haven't been tested. Rest is has always been tested. That's the most important area for CRQs that student must cover, and in that as well, I would say financial and non-financial performance is really important. Coming towards the other areas for PM, I would say uh, for section B, obviously specialist costing technique like ABC, target, throughput, environmental, and life cycle costing. One of the topics you can expect to come in the paper. And in those, if you want me to be precise, I'll say ABC costing and throughput accounting are the important ones. For section A, everything is important. Even one tiny part of the book is important. So you should go through everything as far as section A is concerned. Now, coming towards APM, APM is obviously an advanced paper of PM. And one thing I want to mention here to all the APM students who are appearing for APM, because APM has been my very favorite subject, I would say, and the most nationwide positions that my students have secured is in APM. So there are certain topics that are coming from PM are also tested in APM. Very recent example I want to give you is in this in June 23 attempt. There were two areas that was tested relating to the previous basics. One was of You can just recall that concept of planning and operational variances. This comes very frequently nowadays. So this is what you have covered in PM. So the previous knowledge is important. Don't consider that what you have done in PM will not come in APM. Please, this is the most important thing. Secondly, specific topics for APM: performance report. Those who are appearing for the paper, they know what performance report is. Performance report is very important. It is tested a lot frequently as well. Then all the new IT developments, you know, as the world is changing, the introduction of AI, we know what chat GPT is, all the technological development, process automation, things like that are also very much relevant for APM. And human resource management, the area where we deal with staff and their reward systems and things like that, are also important for APM.
Okay. So the next question in this section is that a lot of students actually overlook theory in PM, deeming to be like it is a predominantly practical paper. So what is your take on it? How do you look at that?
That's, I think, the biggest misconception. As far as PM is concerned, you are very correct in saying that people do consider this to be a calculative paper, uh, and they compare with MA, the previous exam. Even now, MA is more theoretical side as well. Okay, it's not just calculative one. So PM is, it's very simple. This is how I want to explain this: is whatever calculations you are doing, right? Whether it's material price variance, material usage variance, mix yield variance, or budgets, whatever you are calculating. Remember, the main thing is what the number means. Okay, when I say what the number means, this means you have to explain it, right? Whatever calculations that you are doing, you have to explain what the numbers mean. Similarly, why the performance is like this. Now, it's not just about calculating percentage sales growth. It's not just about calculating gross profit margin. You have to discuss the performance. So what the number means is a clear message for all the students, that you can expect good amount of narrative side, theoretical side. So you have to be well prepared. Don't avoid learning theory, drafting the answers, and a simple average is 50-50%. You can expect calculation and the theoretical side. So yes, do practice narrative side and do write answers a lot.
All right, so now I go on to the second segment. This is some questions that we have brought for you. And the thing that we would like to ask you first is, how do you think, you have been checking answer scripts for so many years, you have a teaching experience of more than 16 years now. So, how do you think a student can make their answer script stand out in terms of, the marker is getting so many answer scripts? What a student can do differently to impress the marker?
uh, do some draw some diagrams, I would say. Good coloring would help. Just joking. Now, to make your scripts look impressive, first of all, the layout of the answer should be very clear. I'll start with APM here, which relates to professional paper, where the professional marks are there as well. So clarity of the answer is very important. Whether it's a spreadsheet, whether it's word processor, you have to make sure, if you're writing a theory, the use of headings, the use of subheadings, the use of paragraphs. For separate points explanation, you can use separate paragraphs. Okay, the first thing is the way you present your answer. That is very important, because marker will not have much time to mark your scripts, right? For PM, A and B will be auto marked, so in that, obviously, you don't need to have such things. But when it comes to section C, again, the marker will spend time on section C. So the clarity should be there. Secondly, I would advise here, as I always mention this, and you guys know as well, that identifying the verbs and the objects is very important. Now, if there are two objects or three objects, so make sure your answer is referring to all those objects. And the best way to ensure that you cover all the objects is the use of headings. So again, headings are important, which will give clarity to the marker as a reader when I check anything. So I want to ensure that if there are three objects mentioned in the question, are all these being covered or not? So this way you will ensure yourself, first of all, you're not going out of the direction, and marker will also will be at ease when checking the scripts. Coming towards spreadsheets, it's very important that we have to have a good normal basic layout of the answer on or using a spreadsheet. Using of formulas are important. Many students do ask, in especially when it comes to PM, do we have to write the formula there on the spreadsheet? For example, we are calculating material price variance, so do we have to mention the formula there? You don't have to mention the formula. Okay, it's not about how much good learner you are. It's about how easily you are using that formula. So using the formulas correctly in the cells is very important. Your calculation should be very clear. Referencing is very important. For example, if you've done one main working of material price variance, for example, the working has been done in the working area. So you refer that cell very correctly that, okay, here is the working, you can go and check the working, or you can link the cells as well. So as a marker, what is important that when you are on a spreadsheet, you want to see the calculations to be done. As I always say, using calculators is a big sin when it comes to these papers. So clear calculations, a good separate neat and clean working area will help you with proper references.
Right, so totally agreed, and I got a deja vu when you were talking about the verb and object thing that you tell us. Okay, so the next thing that I want to ask is, now that barely 4-5 days are remaining for the exam, what is the approach that students should follow? Should they be practicing past papers? Should they be revising theory? What is it that they should be doing now?
Okay, I think stop learning new things because now you don't have time. It would further confuse you, and I always say this. I'm not criticizing anyone. If you haven't learned things since 2.5 months, now you cannot do anything in last few days, right? So what you have to ensure is you have to make sure that what all you have in your mind, just try to retain that, which means revision is important. Your revision should be according to what you have covered. Try to recall things, revise. Don't put extra pressure on yourself because you might get these negative vibes like, I'm forgetting things. You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, what is the formula material price variance? I can recall that. Come on, these are all negative stuff, all negative vibes. Just be confident. Don't test yourself again and again because if you have done a good revision, you will be able to recall everything in the examination. Okay, so I would say revision of the areas that you've already covered. Mocks, extremely important. Still, you have time. Still, you should appear for the mock if you haven't tested mocks. I would prefer 2 mocks minimum, but again, I want to explain this in a detailed way. When you are appearing for the mock, don't put extra pressure on yourself that, yes, I'm all set to appear for the mock and now I should pass the mock. No, you may fail the mock. So, what students feel, oh, I failed the mock. This means now after 1 week, I have to go to the examination. I'll again fail. Listen, my friends, this is a learning opportunity. If you failed mock today, so thank God that you still have a chance to learn things. Every failure is a source of learning. And what I say, till the last day before the exam, you're learning. You don't want to get 100 marks, obviously, right? You don't want to score 100 marks. You cannot score 100 marks. Even Tushita knows, she became the position holder in PM at 83 or 82. Still 17 marks she lost, right? Which means that you will lose marks. So do appear for the marks. Don't put extra pressure on yourself that I have to do really good. If you fail, it's okay. Learn from it. Note down your mistakes. Then appear for the second mock. Mocks will do two things. Mocks will not ensure that you will pass the paper. Mock will give you a practice. It's like a rehearsal. Number two, time management is what you'll be able to manage in mocks. That's very important. So do solve the mocks. Third, technical articles, areas where you feel you still lack. So for those areas, you can go to the ACCA website. You can just refer to the technical articles for further clarity in relation to those areas. And that will give you a good revision, understanding, and clarity as well. So this is what I would recommend. Take it simple, revise mocks, and any understanding you need further for clarity purpose, you can go to the technical areas or technical articles. Sorry.
Okay, so I think we're done with the two sections. Now let's move forward to the last segment which we have, which is like a fun segment for you. And so the first question we want to ask you is that when you are not teaching or when you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
That's 16 years back, I would say. Okay, you are talking right now. If I am not teaching
Yeah,
right now, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I do like playing cricket. Yeah, we used to play a lot of cricket. So yeah, we do play cricket sometimes, and table tennis is what we prefer. And sometimes I need my me time, so I just use my cell phone and scroll everything and look at what the updates are. So mainly it's more cell phone side uh, uh, recently, but yeah, sometimes we do prefer playing as well.
Okay. So next is when you were appearing for your ACC exam, which paper was your favorite back then?
Financial reporting, FR,
Okay.
was my favorite paper. I never used to like PM and FM. So FR.
Wow. And you're teaching and you're an expert for PM and
Okay.
FM now.
And I don't remember FR at all.
Okay, so I'll ask just few quick this or that questions. You can quickly answer those. So first is teaching PM or teaching FM.
PM.
Okay, ACC Study Hub or traditional BPP Kaplan kits.
Study Hub is really impressive. So I would recommend to go to Study Hub. Yeah.
Okay, so and taking live classes or checking answer scripts.
Taking live classes every time.
I think most of the tutors have said the same that they do not like checking answer scripts.
Yeah, that's boring.
Okay, and lastly, have you ever watched any Bollywood movie?
Yeah, I have, obviously. Not now, but previously, yes. Lots of movies, maybe 5, 10 years back.
Okay,
I
so
do remember one movie, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, and that was a super hit.
yeah,
I don't know whether you were there in this world or not. I don't know.
I was but very
Yeah.
young that time.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Before we let you go, we would like to ask you one last question. Since September attempt is very, very near, any last minute tips you want to give to all the students who are appearing for September attempt?
Uh, tips tip would be that please be calm, positive, energetic, be confident, fight till the last minute. Those 3 hours are important, whatever it is. Those 3 hours are important. That is where you have to perform. You might get negative vibes during the examination, like I cannot complete the paper and things like that. These are all negative stuff. Your task, your objective should just be to complete the paper. It's very important. Complete the paper, especially when it comes to APM, because to get those 20 professional marks, as I always say, buy 80, get 20 for free, right? So if you want to get those 20 free, complete the paper, fight till the last minute, and don't think about the results at that particular time.
Okay, so with this, we have come to an end to this session. It was a pleasure having you, sir. I hope that the students who are appearing for PM and APM will benefit, not even just the September ones, but also those who are giving the exams later on. So, thank you so much for taking time out and doing this with us. See you in the
Thank you
next
very
one.
much. Thank you very much. Take care and best of luck to all the students.